Well, welcome to session 3 of this journey that we're calling On the Other Side of Yes. Today we're going to be talking about saying yes to forgiveness and peacemaking. When my brother and I were young, we loved playing street hockey. It was one of our favorite things to do. Somehow I was always the goalie. I'm not sure how that happened, but when we first started, we didn't have proper goalie equipment, and so what we would do is we'd take comic books and magazines, much like this, and we'd put them on my arms and tape them around my legs, and this was my hockey equipment, my goalie equipment. Now, as we were playing, I quickly figured out that my brother wasn't necessarily trying to score goals on me. I think what he was trying to do was find the weak spots in my padding, those places where there was nothing there, and he would hone in on those and shoot as hard as he could at those weak spots, and he'd hit me in those spots and it became painful. Now, how do you think I reacted to that? I'd like to tell you that I reacted with peace and calm, but that's just not the case. I threw everything I possibly could at him. My shoes, I even took the whole net and threw it at him because I was angry. I didn't respond very well. I wonder, when the world throws something at you that hits you in the weak spot, which is going to happen in our world, how do you react? You know, we're called to be people who carry forgiveness and peace. I want to talk to you about another brother. It's not my brother, but his name was Joseph, and he had 11 brothers. And these 11 brothers did something much worse than shoot hockey pucks at him. They sold him. Imagine that. Joseph gets sold, and then he's imprisoned in Egypt for over 10 years. But he rises in the ranks. He earns favor with the Pharaoh, becomes the Pharaoh's right-hand man. He even predicts that a famine's going to come, and so he withholds the food and stores it up to prepare for that famine. They have food when the famine comes, and now all of a sudden the known world is traveling to get food from Egypt, and Joseph was the one in charge of distributing that food. All of a sudden in this story, you see the brothers come, and they're standing before Joseph, not knowing it's Joseph. Joseph recognizes them, and he has a moment to decide how he's going to react. So what does he do? Does he throw everything at them? Does he respond in anger? No. He pulls them aside to protect their reputation. He blesses them, and he forgives them. I think this is so amazing. This is what we're called to be, people of forgiveness and people of peace. I love how Jesus in Matthew chapter 5, which is the Sermon on the Mount, he's sharing with this great crowd of people about who we're called to be. And he says this in Matthew chapter 5, he says, "Blessed are those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God." What Jesus is saying is, listen, if you're a child of God, if you consider yourself a child of God, then you should be a person who works for peace. I also love when the disciples come to Jesus and they ask him to teach them how to pray. And one of the lines that Jesus teaches them is this: "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." He wanted them to continue to pray this prayer because this is who we're called to be, that we're to forgive those who hurt us. This is who we are. In Luke chapter 10, Jesus sends his disciples, 72 of them. And I love how he says, don't take anything with you. You don't need to take any material things with you. But instead, when you walk into a home, this is what you're to say: "Peace be in this home." Jesus was instructing his disciples that this is what you're to carry. You're to be peacemakers. Friends, I'm sure that each of us know people who carry peace and forgiveness, and it's impacted our lives deeply. I'd love for you to share with your group now some stories of different people who carry peace, who carry forgiveness, and the impact that it's had on your life. When the world hits you in that weak spot, let's be people who react with peace and forgiveness. On the other side of our yes to these two things, God will move mountains.